How could someone who gets millions in donations let people suffer and die in poor conditions? Mother Teresa, the name itself reminds you of sacrifice, peace, and compassion, right? But what if I told you there's more to her story? A side that's more uncomfortable, controversial, and honestly kind of heartbreaking. Mother Teresa spent her entire life helping the poorest of the poor. Well, at least that's what we've been told. But her version of helping is not exactly what it seemed. Watch this video till the end because this is going to change the way you look at everything that you thought you knew. By the time she passed away, the Mother Teresa's group, the Missionaries of Charity, had grown very big and they were helping homeless and orphans all around the world. But few people questioned her work. One of the biggest critics was Christopher Hitchens. He even made a documentary of Hell's Angel and also wrote a book called The Missionary Position. The documentary Hell's Angel shows that her clinics did not provide much dignity. Patients were often packed with the small and overcrowded rooms, and many of them were lying on the ground without any beds because there was shortage of beds, and needles were reused, washed with just cold water, and then used it again on another patients. Despite receiving millions in the donations, the clinics lacked basic things like clean bedding, proper medical supplies, and enough staffs to take a proper care. Some of these patients had illnesses that could have been treated with basic and simple care. Instead of that, they were just left to die. Imagine having all the resources, but still you choose not to use them.
A boy 15 who was dying, and an American doctor told me that she had been trying to treat this boy and that he had a really relatively simple kidney complaint that had simply got worse and worse and worse because he hadn't had antibiotics and he actually needed an operation. I don't recall what the problem was, she did tell me. She was so angry but also very resigned, which so many people become in that situation. She said, well, they won't take him to hospital. And I said, why? All you have to do is get a cab, take him to the nearest hospital, demand that he has treatment, get him an operation. She said, they don't do it. They won't do it if they do it for one, they do it for everybody. And I thought, but this kid's 15.
One of the biggest concerns were how these donations were being used. A report from 1991 reveals that only 7% of the money donated actually reached to the people who actually needed it. When asked about the charity money, Sister Nirmala responded that God knows because he is a banker.
While the bank account was getting higher and higher, the funds didn't find their way out into the poor.
No one knows where the rest of the money went, but some reports says that the Vatican now controls it. Dr. Aroup Chatterjee spent years researching on Mother Teresa. He even visited her centers, spoke to many people, and found out some disturbing things.
The side is that she didn't have any intention of providing charity, really. It was for publicity. Her entire mission was publicity for herself and the Catholic Church. The primary objective was ideological, i.e. to bring more and more glory to her Catholic Church. Her actual primary objective, which was to ban abortion from the earth. She would probably, 25 times, she would probably say abortion is murder of the child by the mother. We have to ban abortion from the world.
Abortion has become the greatest destroyer of peace because it destroys the presence of God.
And I don't know why she was so obsessed with it, because she probably believed that if abortion was outlawed completely from the earth, everybody would become a Catholic, and the world would become heaven for Jesus.
Her centers often had poor hygiene, unnecessary deaths, and even cases of dying people being baptized without their permissions.
Mother Teresa's claim was in 1992 January, 29,000 conversions, surreptitious conversions. I have no problem that if people convert for love or for money, for sex or whatever, because it's a free world and you will do things for various things. If I was starving and if you gave me rice, I would convert, no problem. But I think to convert somebody who's semi-conscious or unconscious or dying, I think it's lowest of low. So that's what she used to do. She said it herself.
Today, her centers have doctors and seriously ill people are sent to hospitals. But back then, the story was different. Also, Mother Teresa claimed that she saved thousands of people's life in India. But Dr. Chatterjee found that the number was much smaller. It was around 700. This is surprising because her group received millions of dollars in donation.
In Calcutta, she never paid a single rupee towards any medical cause or any research or any medical clinic or any school, nothing.
He also mentioned that the other charities in Kolkata gave more food and water to the poor compared to this Missionaries of Charity. Looks like this organization was focused more on converting people to Christianity than actually helping them. The 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy was a terrible disaster. A gas leak killed thousands of people and left many with serious health problems. People were angry and they wanted the company to be held accountable. But do you know what Mother Teresa responded to this?
What is your message to the people of Bhopal?
Forgive. Forgive.
Mother Teresa believed that suffering is a gift from God, and the more you suffer, the more closer you get to God. In an interview, she said that her mission is not to end the poverty, it's to make more Catholics and grow more church. The nuns who worked with Mother Teresa had very strict rules. They were not allowed to read newspapers, watch TV, or even visit their families. They were even told to whip themselves to feel the suffering of Christ.
Can you explain the discipline?
We had a little kind of sort of a rope whip with which we would beat ourselves every day.
The nuns were not allowed to take showers because it's considered as a luxury, and they were provided with only 3 sets of clothes and they have to wear it until it can't be fixed anymore. They were not provided with any pocket money and they can only visit their parents or families once in a decade.
Eating whatever was begged or received, often including spoiled food.
We used to have every day a bread and oil, and these things that we got from the begging couldn't swallow it. We were eating it.
All communication with the outside world, except that once-a-month home letter, was prohibited, including talking with lay co-workers about anything other than work, limiting contact with family to once-a-month letters and 2 weeks of home visits once every 10 years.
She was not allowing us to be human.
Another controversy of Mother Teresa was that she had ties with neo-fascists of Italy and also some leaders of dictatorship in Argentina. Some of these people were later found guilty for their terrible crimes. History books often tells us what the powerful people want us to believe and not what actually had happened. So don't trust everything blindly. Always question and always research. If you think this video opened your eyes or made you think differently, then hit a like button and share this video with your friends and family, and please subscribe to our channel for more such unfiltered talks.